So this is a great practice, again, to utilize morning, noon, or night. It might even be a great opportunity to use first thing in the morning as a nice gentle wake up, or of course a nice opportunity to slow things down at the end of a busy day. And ultimately it's a posture practice that, a Yin posture practice rather, that helps to support some of the increased stresses that can kind of creep into our body. So let's begin in child's pose. Big toes can touch, legs can come nice and wide. You can certainly, of course, bring the legs a little closer together. And the beauty of this is there's all kinds of options and ways in which you can move to support yourself. You feel free to have your blanket, bolster, or any other props that you might want close by. Hands, arms can start to move forward, or you might even just make a nice little pillow here as you bring your forehead down onto the backs of those forearms. Close your eyes, turn your attention onto the breath, and let your body just be breathed. Go ahead and let yourself just land here, arriving to a place of relative stillness as we find this our first posture. There's never ultimate stillness, for the breath is constantly moving. The senses, your ears, your skin, your nose. And even though the eyes are closed, there's still light coming in that you're processing. Of course, there's thoughts and movements associated and attached to those senses. However, this practice is very much about honing our skills at slowing things down and at illuminating, if you will, the important pieces. Go ahead and invite yourself to just linger here for a few more moments. I'll share with you our invocation chant. Reminder for us to practice patience with ourselves as we walk this journey of life. May we be open and receptive to learning when we can, to leading when we must, to trusting and honoring the self in all its ways. Sahana bhavatu, sahana bhunatu, saha viryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu, ma vidvishavahai. Yourself to find a nice full deep breath in here. And then one more nice full deep satisfying breath out. And on your next inhale, just lift your head enough and your chest enough so that you can take those legs wide if you had them together. So still the toes touch, but the knees come wide. And from there, we're going to work into the back of the shoulders a little bit as you now take the left arm and slide it underneath the right armpit. Continue to keep your right forearm available for you here to place your forehead down onto it. Okay, so the chest and the neck stay neutral while we just get into the outer portion of the shoulder and the arm here. Let yourself sink in here, settle down, find a fullness, but yet relinquishing control over the breath.
innate wisdom that exists in your body to promote breath here in this practice. Go ahead and take one more breath here. And then your breath out. And then go ahead and inhale, lift the head. Start to slide that left arm out from underneath you. Maybe stretch the left arm towards the top of your mat. Again, return the forehead onto the right wrist or forearm. And pause. One more breath comes in. And then another breath comes out. Inhale, lift the forehead a bit, adjust the left arm as you need to now slide the right arm underneath and towards the left. Your palm here can be up or down. Bend your left elbow, position the left forearm or the back of the hand behind or for the forehead to then rest on. And then let yourself sink. Let yourself settle down here and find some release through the outer portion of the shoulder, down that outer arm, perhaps across the space behind the heart, the back of the shoulder blade. Create a sense of softness and ease in the facial expression. A little lightness around the eyes and the lines around the eyes. Perhaps a little lightness across the lips. A little softness where the teeth connect, and the tongue and its placement inside the mouth. Go ahead and invite yourself to find just a couple more breaths here. And on that next inhale, go ahead and lift the forehead. And then just take that right arm, slide it back out from underneath you, extend it towards the top of your mat, and once again, let the forehead rest on the left wrist or the back of that forearm. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale, lift that forehead, extend your right hand, left hand towards the top of your mat and rise. Come on up onto your hands and knees. As we come up onto our hands and knees, let's begin to bend the elbows, keep the hips over the knees and begin to descend down into this kind of puppy pose or the heart posture. Elbows can stay on the floor, hands can stay where they are, or eventually, elbows start to move a little bit more forward here as we once again bow the forehead down towards the floor. Feel free to fill the gap. You can once again fold the forearms and place them underneath the forehead. You can use any kind of props that you might have available, folded blanket, pillow, a couple books. The difference here is that we try to keep the hips high, elevated, over the knees, so that we get a sense of opening across the chest. Mind the neck. As well, mind the expression on the face, the eyes, the teeth, the tongue, the jaw. Offer yourself some softness. And then just breathe. Take one more breath here. And then your breath out. Pushing into those elbows. Shift the hips slightly forward to then rise and bring yourself on up to your hands. Just a little cat and cow movement here, dropping the shoulders onto the back. We can lift the gaze. And then exhale, round it out. Chin to chest, navel to spine. Do that again. Inhale, drop the shoulders onto the back, lift the gaze, look forward. Exhale, round it out.
One more time, inhale, drop the shoulders onto the back, lift the gaze.
Exhale, round it out.
And then from here, inhale, finding your way through to neutral. Let's come right through to our seat. As you come to your seat, feel free to once again prop, elevate, folded blanket or pillow underneath the hips. Let's take the soles of the feet together here as we come into the butterfly. And just gently clasping at the ankles or the toes as those knees find their way, moving towards gravity. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, invite yourself to just gently release the head, release the neck. Let the chin fall towards the chest. Let's keep the spine nice and tall here to start. Letting gravity assist the openings at the legs and the hips. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale, turn your chin towards your right shoulder. So keeping the chin down towards the chest or the shoulder, helping to offer some length across the back and side of the neck on the left here. Again, let there be a softness about your facial expression. Perhaps eyes remain closed. Here, keeping your ear turned towards the right shoulder, steer your chin so that it's forward. So right ear falling towards the right shoulder here. Your arms can just gently rest on the shins, the feet. The spine remains tall. And maybe to assist that left shoulder a little bit more, we might take the left hand and bring it around behind us so the palm faces out and just rests on the small of the back. If that creates too much sensation for the neck and shoulder, then just return to keeping the left arm in front of the body instead of behind. Stay for one more breath here. And your breath out. Inhale, slowly return your head so that it finds its way to neutral. And then helping that left arm around behind you if it was in front. Okay, feel free to now catch the left hand wrist with the right and guide the arm across and behind you more. Ultimately, we're working towards our kind of cow face pose arms here. Maybe your right hand helps to steer your left a little bit more in a vertical direction so that that hand placement starts to slide up your back. You know, your right arm can just continue to stay back there if you want, assisting and supporting the opening in your left shoulder. Or you might also take the right hand up, place the hand at the back of the head. Maybe both hands start to make their way towards one another and eventually we bind. Okay, this isn't about binding. Okay, this is about opening up across the chest and the shoulders in multiple ways. Breathe in and breathe out. Invite one more breath in here. And then your breath out. Inhale, slowly release the bind if you have it. And let both arms once again fall down towards the feet, ankles, or shins in front of your body. Take a breath in. Exhale, chin towards the chest. Pause. Continue again to stay upright with your spine. Letting gravity continue to assist and open across the hips. Of course, the use of props might be beneficial here under the outer knees or legs. Feel free to adjust and find that should you need. Take another breath in. As you exhale, turn your chin towards the left shoulder. So turning the chin down towards that left shoulder now promotes the opening along that back and side portion of the neck on the right. Your arms just continue to stay in front of your body here, heavily hanging from the shoulder joint. Take 2 more breaths. Turn your left ear down towards your left shoulder as your chin turns forward. And keep that right arm in front of you, or by all means, start to take that right arm around behind you. Palm faces the back of your mat. The back of the hand comes to find the small of the back. That right shoulder begins a bit of an internal rotation here and a release. Legs, knees continue to fall effortlessly towards the floor. Another breath in. And another breath out. Inhale, slowly invite your head to come back through to a neutral position. Okay, self-assist now with the left hand. Come around behind you. Help the right arm maybe across the body a bit more, and maybe then that right hand starts to move in a vertical direction. Listen to the right shoulder here. Try to maintain an element of release. We're not trying to force the shoulder to get anywhere in particular, but rather just acknowledge where we are today. Left hand can stay, or we can start to move it into an upward direction, and then start to travel it behind the head. And who knows, maybe fingertips start to find their way towards one another. Okay, so it's the tricep opening here on that left as we continue to make space on the right. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more. Inhale, slowly release. Let those arms once again come away from one another to then find each other back in front of the body. Take one more breath in here. And your breath out. And then go ahead and take your hands to the outer portions of the knees. Guide those legs all the way back together. And then let's go ahead and lengthen them on your mat. As you extend out the legs, feel free to little log roll, rolling pin them back and forth or side to side. And then let them come to a comfortable place of just rest and almost flop. Take a breath in. As you exhale, start to perhaps begin forward fold. Options here, of course, to stay upright. But over time, we let ourselves melt, ensuring that the legs, the feet, the ankles, you practice disengaging. Let them go, let them relax. Again, if you have props, tools, even your couch or a coffee table, sometimes it's nice to slide the legs under the coffee table and just rest your arms, forearms, forehead. And maybe even a chair or a stool. And eventually the body comes down more and more and more and more, just gently melting. Sometimes it's almost even barely noticeable as to whether or not there's any movement as the posture becomes deeper. Little by little, breath by breath, we release into the pose.
here, we might travel the hands towards the head and support the head as it comes forward. Of course, this looks different for everybody, but it also is different for our own practices day by day, hour by hour, moment by moment. So do your best again to practice just being where you are here, surrendering and letting go into this. Let yourself linger here for about another 5 or 6 breaths. As your next inhale happens, slowly begin to assist yourself as you come up. As we come up out of the pose, take your time. Take your time to bring the spine upright. Then take your time to bend the knees and position the feet on the mat. And then the hands, let them come behind you. Fingertips can face any direction here as we just arch the upper back a little bit. Maybe even lift the gaze and open across the throat. Stay as you are, or press into the feet, hover off the hips, or lift the hips as high up as it feels right for you. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Inhale, slowly return the hips to the mat if they were elevated. And then right the spine as you sit tall once again. Let's cross our legs, bringing the right shin in front. Now, if possible, we'll work the right leg over top of the left. Okay, as we set ourselves up for the shoelace. Now, your left leg can be extended here, or of course the option is to just keep your legs simply crossed and right shin in front to start. Okay, so just support the hips as need be to find this kind of crisscrossing in the legs. Start out once again nice and tall. And then just let the arms rest and relax on the lap or on the leg. Soften the lumbar. But promote a little bit of lift across the chest. Breathe in. And breathe out. From here, let's take the right hand to the floor, somewhere beside us. And then begin to walk that right hand off to the side more so that we come into a lateral movement. Your left side sit bone is still staying rounded on your prop, blanket, or on the mat. And your left hand can just kind of dangle, your left arm can just dangle alongside the body. If you want, you can take that left arm and drape it up and over your head. Of course, mindful of any tingle sensation that might come into the fingers here. And little by little, your right hand might walk away from your hips as you increase the lateral space on your left side body. Breathe in. And out.
yourself to come all the way up. As you come up, let that left arm gently come back down to the floor beside you. Stay tall, or as you're ready, start to invite yourself into a fold over your legs. Again, this can be done just a simple cross-legged with the right shin in front. Or eventually that right leg comes on top, crosses over as we fold ourselves down over the thighs and the knees. Again, feel free to move your hands and arms to a place of support for yourself. And again, eventually let the head fall towards the floor. Go ahead and take about 3 or 4 more breaths here. And as you're ready, inhale, start to lift your head. And slowly find your way up to an upright spine. Guide your legs to uncross. And then once again, invite them to extend out in front of you and offer them the log roll. As you're ready, we find our way onto our second side. So now the left shin crosses in front, simple Sukhasana or simple cross-legged pose. Or we work with our shoelace, crossing now left on top of right, where eventually the right leg stays bent in underneath. Again, just pause here for a moment, sitting tall, acknowledging the differences that exist from one side to the other. How one way almost fits perfectly like a puzzle piece, and the other side, well, not so much. Breathe in and breathe out. And then from here, let's take that left hand on the floor over to the left. Start to walk it in that direction as you now do the lateral movement on the second side. The more you walk left hand left, the more that right side body finds some space. Try to keep the spine moving in a lateral direction versus a forward fold here. Right hand arm can just continue to hang on the lap or somewhere beside the body. Or you might find an opportunity to take the right arm up and over your head, just letting it drape. Your right side seat works to stay heavily grounded to the floor as we lean away from it. Again, easing ourselves into our posture. Let the breath just go. Take one more breath here. And out. And then inhale, slowly invite yourself to come on back up. Let that right arm come back down to your side. and your spine to come upright. Breathe in. And exhale, stay where you are. Once again, begin to travel in a forward direction here, folding over the knees, thighs, and or shins. Hands again can come forward of your body to support you as you come down. Feel free to let the chin come towards the chest. And maybe even rest on that front knee if it's there. Take one more breath here. And then your breath out. Inhale, take your time to once again bring the body up. Find a nice tall spine. And gently uncross, unfold the legs, and send them in front of you. Move your ankles, legs, rock and roll side to side. Find your way off your prop and then go ahead and ease yourself down onto your back. Coming down onto our back, let's just pause with the knees bent and the soles of the feet on the floor. Let your spine rest in neutral here. Maybe even letting the knees fall gently in towards one another. Breathe in. And breathe out. And then one last time, we're going to find the use of a prop. Okay, rolled up, folded up, doesn't matter. Okay, when you're ready, lift your hips. Slide your prop underneath your hips. Doesn't have to be high. Just something to create a bit of elevation here. As you slide that support under you, make sure it feels comfortable and not pressed into the low back. And then your knees, legs can stay bent as they are. By all means, we invite those legs to unfold out in front of us. Taking your time to let those legs extend. So as to not pull or shift or shock the low back in any way possible, but rather just an opportunity to explore just a gentle back bend. Imagine that you were lying face down, and that's how gentle of a back bend you'd create here. Just a slight counter. Continue to promote softness and release about the eyes, the jaw, the teeth, the tongue. Fullness and softness to the breath. There's this sweet, sweet surrender in the body.
yourself about 5 or 6 more breaths here. As you're ready, slowly begin to rebend those knees. Let the feet land comfortably on your mat. Shift off your block, bolster, or blanket. Move it out to the side. Ease your spine all the way back down onto the mat. And then once again, invite those legs to unfold as we come down to rest in final relaxation pose. Notice a fullness to your breath. Maybe even encourage it to come in just a smidge deeper. Go ahead and offer yourself some movement in your fingers and in your toes. Roll your chin as you're ready gently from side to side. Take those arms and reach out, stretching in opposition here, fingertips to toe tips. Bending those knees one last time, ease yourself from your back to your side. And then from your side, find your way to a comfortable seated posture. Go ahead and land your hands together in Anjali Mudra in front of the heart space. The spine sits tall, the shoulders soft, the face light, and the body grounded.